Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks.
As real person is working what
Perfection.
real perfection is work in progress.
Thank you very much.
And
I'm your host.
Again?
Not yet, but I'm your host, Sam. As alongside me, as always, is our host, Tarek. How you doing tonight?
I am doing well. Work is over. Football is on. Got a nice long weekend. How about you, buddy?
I am doing great. Ready for a turkey leg and a battle pitch and playing some of that pigskin tomorrow.
Yep, should be fun. So if you guys should have noticed, we have a guest. It's not just four of us. We got my friend Mike from Big Mike's Real Reviews. He doesn't just know nerd stuff. He knows sports too, and he's come to talk about some sports with us. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well. I know a little bit about that old sports ball stuff. Let's talk about it.
yeah, he happy.
There's nothing to say that this isn't nerd stuff too, okay?
True.
This is stats and
Just
numbers.
different kind of nerd stuff.
Different kind of nerd stuff.
Yep. Either way, I'm wearing a shirt with someone else's name on it. I'm cheering in the seats in the stands of the theater. It all works out.
Yep, there you go.
That's right. Of course, we have football Jesus. How's the word from on high, sir?
I'm unfortunately a little under the weather this week, but I couldn't miss out on this jam-packed, to go with the Thanksgiving theme, fully stuffed episode tonight. So I'm excited to be here.
Filled to the gills. Of course, we got the QB coach, Jessica. How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. Always happy to see Sammy. So, hey, Sammy.
Not the rest of us, just Sammy.
Well, I'm related to her, of course. And then, of course, my little insider right here, Samuel. How you doing tonight?
I'm sleepy
He's sleepy.
Me too, Sammy.
Sleepy.
because I was supposed to sleep. So let me sleep.
Well, while he sleeps, let's get into it. Last week, exciting week, couple of upsets, and some news coming out of Minnesota. Justin Jefferson supposed to be activated from the IR. This is that was the last week he could be on IR. He has to be on the active roster, but he says he's not coming back till he's 100%. I gotta wonder, does he really want to come back to the Vikings? Considering I think his contract's coming up, and will he be back this year?
I'll run with this
your
first.
Quarterback, would you want to come back?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Mason, the genius that he is, he kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, he's not 100%. The Vikings are essentially trying everything they can to stay in the playoff hunt at this point. And when you are arguably the best wide receiver in the league, would you go back to a team that's struggling? I say no.
I'm going to disagree. I think athletes like that think that they give their teams the best shot at winning, and they're always extreme competitors. They don't like missing out on games like that. But knowing that it's a hamstring injury, that's something that's easily re-aggravated, and there's no point in him going back yet. I think as soon as he feels up for it, he does want to go back to this team. These are his teammates.
Yeah, I just looked up. I got to respect what he's saying. I mean, he's putting himself first. Not many of these athletes do that. I mean, look what Andrew Luck did. He got tired of having his lung punctured through his ribs. So he said his health is more important than fantasy football. So with that statement, I got to kind of respect that. What that means for the future, I really have no idea. Could he do? He saw what Lamar did last year. Maybe he's going to try and pull something and see if his contract is really up. I didn't look that part up. If his contract really is up, he may see like, hey, I'm clearly the best. Anybody else want me while I'm sitting here resting, getting healthy for next year? So.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean,
But
your health is the
why
most
am I-
important thing. So if he feels like he doesn't feel up to it, he could get re-injured or anything like that. I mean, look at RG3. He lasted one season before it. Like, I mean, he got his career was ended. So I mean, you got to look at examples like that to also be like, hey, do I want to be this guy? And it's like, no, essentially. So I can see him sitting out.
What about you? You think he's going to sit out for the rest of the year?
no. Plus, why am I on the bottom?
Talking about. Of course, you're always there. Quite frankly, I think I don't think he wants to come back. I think with with Josh Dobbs, they got a pretty good chance to make the playoffs with that team. I think Josh Dobbs can get him there. However, I don't think he was all that happy with what was going on with Kirk Cousins and the fact that Kirk Cousins is not going to be, but probably not going to be back next year. Kirk Cousins out for the rest of the year. Of course, I feel like he wants to be somewhere else. He wants to find that team that wants to pay him the buku bucks. I don't think the Vikings can do that next year, and somebody will absolutely break the bank for that guy. He is an incredible talent. Now, he could be doing what Lamar did last year, where everybody thought Lamar was good to go, but Lamar didn't, or at least claimed not to. I don't know. I wasn't there. So maybe he really is feeling hurt. His leg really is damaged still, and he can't push off it. We're going to have to see the rest of the season. Unfortunately for them fantasy football players who had them on their teams, they'll just have to suffer.
Is that our league, Brady?
No, that's the big money $100
Oh,
league.
nice.
Yeah, I have them in a league too, and yeah, but what are you gonna do? All right,
Look at these standings.
let's get on to those standings. Yes, thank you, Jessica. All right, let's take a look at what we got. A two-way tie. Still
Brady ahead of me.
You're still on the bottom. Yes.
Alphabetical superiority, Jessica. We went over this.
Regular superiority.
If you were regular superior to me, then you'd be above me in the standings with more wins, but we're tied. So
it just made sense to just swap me and Brady because I didn't have to move 3 people. I only had to move 2.
Just kidding.
But isn't being football Jesus essentially cheating anyway?
Look, hey, no, Mike, you this is your first day. You cannot come on here and tell something like that.
Why am I on the bottom?
That's okay, bud. You get better.
Like
Just
Ricky
takes time.
Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last.
Ain't first, you're last.
That's right.
And I'm
And
first.
of course, I'm in a tie with Tarek for 3rd place. So
Hey, it beats me. I was in last like 2 weeks ago, so I'm good.
all right. Now let's get to our games of the week. Let's go to football. Jesus, give us that gospel, sir.
Oh, well, as I alluded
Even
to,
like a gubba gubba?
I'm a little low on energy, so we're just going to get right into it. I have picked the Detroit Lions against the Green Bay Packers. Now, normally, I'm the guy that's like, this guy's really good, this guy's really good, this team's bad at this phase of football, this team's bad at the phase of football. But I'm going to give you one stat that I found online today that I think is going to settle this whole game. Since the AFL-NFL merger, the Detroit Lions are 0-12, no wins, on Thanksgiving when the moon is in a waxing gibbous phase. Tomorrow is a waxing gibbous phase Thanksgiving. I think, now let's be honest, I'm not paying attention to that. The Detroit Lions are clearly the better football team here. Dan Campbell is by leagues ahead of anybody for winning head coach of the year. I believe in the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions go to 9-2 and essentially lock up their division this week.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with the Detroit Lions taking this game. The last time that they played, the Green Bay Packers had a difficult time protecting against the run. I'm going at least 10 points over for the Lions.
All right. So the way I was looking at this, the Detroit Lions, they put a bunch of witches out on the field. They're coming out. The Wiccan thing is coming out. They're using the wax and gibbous, just like Brady said. They're casting their spells. It's a magic thing again. I can't come up with anything else. I don't know. But yeah, I'm first time breaking the thing. Normally never pick the Detroit Lions. I'm picking the Detroit Lions. They're taking it away. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm picking the Lions. It's because of the moon's in a wax on, wax off phase. So I'm picking the Lions, man. Picking the Lions to win it.
There you go.
Who do you have in this game there, little Mr. Insider?
I picked the GT.
He picked the Green Bay Packers.
But it's not good because I picked the Lions.
Oh, you picked the Lions.
Because it's the C team. It's not good.
It's true. They're not good. They're not good. Starting to sound like Aunt Jessica making her picks.
Oh, shot.
We'll be in the lead before you know it, Sammy.
I'll catch up at some point. So I have the Lions. I don't really think there's a lot of surprise to that. They got a scare last week with the Bears. They had to come back and win that one. Divisional game, you got to expect those things. This is also a divisional game, and the Lions have struggled against the Packers in the past, but these are a different set of Lions. I believe that the Lions get it done. Yeah, I would go with Jessica's assessment. I think they're going to win it by more than 10 points. All right, let's get on to our next game of the week. The QB coach, what do you got drawn up for us?
So the game of the week that I picked this week is the Arizona Cardinals against the LA Rams. The reason that I picked this game is because it's kind of a transition period for both of them. Matt Stafford just recently came back. They had a, pretty weak but motivating win over Seattle last week because Seattle was looking pretty good. Seattle did lose a couple people to injury. And on the flip side of that, Arizona just brought back Kyler Murray. Everybody's waiting to see what he's doing. James Conner just came back from IR, and he did pretty well last week. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, I think. I did ultimately pick the Rams, but it is a slim favorite for me. It was a hard choice. I'm back and forth. I think the defense is going to make it difficult for Kyler Murray to really get back into the groove of things, and they're really reliant on their run game, which is going to be stifled a bit. So I am going with a very close game, maybe a last-second field goal, just like basically every week now in the NFL. Most of our games are going that way. So I think it's going to be a 3-point game or less.
Be prepared for that pick to change.
No. Don't even
I think we're always
think
ready
about
for
it.
Jess's picks to change.
He's
Uh,
fine.
I almost said that. That it could change.
Yeah.
All right, so looking at this one, I don't know jack squat about either one of these teams. So I'm going with the Rams for all the reasons that Jess just said.
Me?
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, well, I'm going with the Rams. Just because, Kyler Murray's coming back, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that just means enough for the Cardinals to actually pull this off. So I'm just going with the Rams this game.
Well, if you've watched this video before, I like to have the dissenting opinion. I'm going with the Cardinals on this one, and it's not because of what the Cardinals bring to the table. It's what the Rams are not. Cooper Kupp is currently listed as day-to-day, and as Jess alluded to, they're both kind of in a transitional period. And we talked about Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson could wind up on the Cardinals next year. They have the cap space to sign a player of that magnitude. Really, this game is one of the many toss-ups this week because the Rams, found a replacement for Cooper Kupp in Pua Nakua, and their offense should be better, but they're not. The Cardinals, they were without Kyler Murray for the first 7 weeks, 8 weeks of the season. They should be better. They're not. So I'm going with the Cardinals just on the fact that Kyler Murray brings that fifth dimension to football with his mobile ability. And Matt Stafford has been maligned with injuries this year, and it seems like the Rams are just kind of existing at this point.
Well, it should be noted that Matt Stafford is not what won them the last game. Obviously, he wasn't there, but their running back had a career game against the Arizona Cardinals last time. So their run game should be solid against Arizona, whereas on the flip side, I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey, who you got in this game?
Oh, I picked the bird team.
The Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah,
That doesn't surprise me.
because they are coming, but they have been lifted up.
They have been lifting up. They've been looking up.
So I thought you were
Yeah,
taking after Aunt
Gulliver.
Jess, not Brady.
Well, you know what? Sometimes he has to take after his dad. I picked the Arizona Cardinals too. I believe that with the injury to Cooper Kupp, it's going to make it a little more level. With it being in Arizona, it's not a huge advantage for them as far as home field advantage goes. But I just got this feeling that they're going to get their third win this week, given
What?
that James Conner's back, and look for Kyler Murray to throw 2 touchdown passes to the old Hollywood Brown, and It should be an interesting game, but I got Arizona. All right, we're gonna jump into Mike's first game of the week.
Yeah.
Mike, give us your review on this one.
Well, we are going with the NFC East, formerly known as the NFC Least. Well, now the only team in the NFC Least would be the Giants. But guess what they did? They pulled out a win against the Washington Commanders on Sunday. So we have the Cowboys versus the Commanders on
Oh no.
Thanksgiving, which, you know, the Cowboys
That's hard.
always playing on Thanksgiving. And me being a Cowboy fan, how can I go against my team and say they are not going to win this game? Even though I know in my heart of hearts, it's the NFC East. Anything can happen. Even on Thanksgiving, this is going to be a heck of a game. But I just think my boys are going to pull it out. I mean, the Commanders, they lost to the Giants. They lost to the Giants. They lost to the Giants. I mean, what's funny is they played the Eagles close. You lose to the Giants. The Cowboys wiped the floor with the Giants both times they played them this season. Yeah, we lost to the Cardinals. I'm owning it. Okay, I'm owning it. But as of right now, the Cowboys are, what are we, 2-1 in the division?
Yep.
Yeah, 2-1 in the division. We are going to be 3-1 in the division come tomorrow night. I'm going to be happy, full of turkey, and also very happy with a win in the W column over the Washington Commanders.
Now, we've much maligned Dak Prescott's play against bad defenses on this podcast in many weeks. That's just honesty here. He plays really good against good teams, and terrible is the family-friendly word that I'm going to choose against teams that he should be able to light up for 450 yards and 8 touchdowns. But I can't pick the Commanders because the reasons why they were winning games before, they traded away for pots and pans and pot stickers.
I want pot stickers.
Well, trade a former first-round pick to team of your choice, and you might get a pair of pot stickers. So I'm going with the Cowboys. I do think this is going to be a close game, like a 24-20 type of deal, but I think the Cowboys are going to have command for 3/5 of this game.
Over the Commanders?
Over the Washington football Commander team, formerly known as other things.
The Deadskins.
Let me tell you why I think this is going to be nearly a blowout by the Cowboys. The Washington Commanders quarterback is the most sacked quarterback, and the defensive line for Dallas is going to kill him. Like, he already needs to get the ball out faster than he does, and he's going to have even less time than he normally does. So there's going to be some defensive scoring by Cowboys. There's going to be some offensive scoring by the Cowboys, and it's going to be a bloodbath. I think the Commanders will get on the board, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near close.
I hope you're right, Justin.
I am.
You're right.
This looks like it's just going to be a cool game for Thanksgiving Day. Like we already talked about, Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving. This is a nice divisional game. I think it's a later game too, so it's after we all eat. So it's going to be just a good thing to just sit. I think. Am I wrong about the time?
4:30, I think.
Okay, so that's later. So it's after I'm done eating.
Yeah.
So I'll be like full of tryptophan and ready to pass out. So this is going to be a fun game. I'm going with the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a blowout. The Commanders have not done much for anything. I think all those wins have been really close. So I think Cowboys are ready to go. They're used to playing on Thanksgiving every year. I think they're finally ready to do it. Let's go Cowboys.
Hey, who do you have in this game? He doesn't want to admit it, but he picked the Cowboys.
Both Jess and Sammy picked the Cowboys?
I
Pick
know.
the Cowboys.
Is it just because I was coming on as a special guest?
They
No.
didn't know you were a Cowboys fan.
I had no idea.
I'm not a
I
Cowboys
was about
fan.
to feel flattered,
Yeah,
but now,
Mr.
okay,
Lucas.
I don't anymore.
I have picked the Cowboys before, several times.
She has picked the Cowboys with vitriol in her mouth,
It is not true.
as though poison was being spewed from her lips when she said it.
We had to replace her camera
what?
because of the acid
Yes.
that was
My
hitting it.
mom, that
Oh
big
my
like
god.
Anyway.
I have the Cowboys, and I'm going to shock you guys by saying I think this is going to be a game that's within a touchdown. These two teams, history shows that these two teams always play each other close no matter what their records are. It doesn't matter if Dallas only has one win in the season. Guess who that win was against?
The Redskins.
The Redskins at the time, yes, in the year that the Redskins went and won the Super Bowl.
Yep. That was 93 or 92?
No, it was in the 80s.
Okay.
It was one of their 80s wins. In between it was a late Tom Landry.
Okay.
Given that, I know Dallas was high flying last week. I think with Washington's defense, and yes, Sam Howell has put up a lot of yards this year. He's been sacked quite a bit. He's put up a lot of yards. I think he has either the second or the most yards passing so far this year. Surprisingly, he kind of has to. His team, he's running for his life, trying to get the ball out, and they can't run the ball. They're always behind. So, but I think it's going to come down to the last 7 points. I think Dallas wins it, but look for it to be close.
Yeah. Luckily, this is not graded based on the scores. I know we talk about it, which I have no idea what I'm talking about with who's going to win, how far anybody's going to win. Because if we talked about score, I'd be dead last. There's no way I'd be able to predict that.
A dub's a dub, man. Dub's a dub.
That's what I'm saying. So they all talk about,
win.
there's going to be by touchdown.
No. It says I'm very good.
All right. Hey, let's get to your game of the week, sir.
Okay.
What's your game of the week?
Well, my pick is the Ravens and the Chargers. You see, the Ravens are the legendary bugs that
I know, I see it.
So anyway, the Ravens are the legendary bugs that you had ever seen long before in the game. Because they are unstoppable.
Unstoppable. I like it.
Yep.
Good job.
I'm not done yet.
He's not done yet.
Okay.
The Chargers will keep up because he got more points than the Chargers. Well, the Chargers will lose. Good boy for the Baltimore Ravens. Ding.
Good job.
All right. Good job. I liked it.
I mean, that's irrefutable. I mean, how can you argue against something that profound?
There's nothing you can say.
I mean, I thought I was football Jesus. He may be stealing my power. But I agree with Sammy. I think the Ravens are going to win this one. As I alluded to a couple of weeks ago, I think Justin Herbert is overpaid Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got all the weapons in the world, and they can't win any football games.
You just call it Jimmy G?
He's Jimmy G. He's overpaid Jimmy G. Look at his career stats. There are shorter years, yes, but he and Jimmy G have very similar career stats.
I don't think they have a problem scoring points. I think they have a problem giving up points.
They have a problem giving up points. They have a problem coming back from giving up those points.
Guys.
So they lost Nick Bosa, or one of the Bosa brothers, I don't remember, to a foot injury. He's out. Austin Eckler's running like he's 40 years old, much to my chagrin. Hey, I'm just saying. Mike, you could outrun this guy. I saw highlights of last week. He looks bad. And honestly, the last couple of times the Ravens have played the Chargers, they have beat the brakes off of them. So I see this as being a blowout win for the Ravens and the last game that Brandon Staley coaches in LA.
Okay.
Wow.
I told you they
So I think that I'm agreeing with the Ravens. I mean, Sammy's arguments is irrefutable. But also, I mean, it's just the Ravens they're hitting their stride. They're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. They're hitting it. They're figuring everything out later in the season, right when you need to. The only concern I have is, can they stay consistent throughout the game? Because if they rest on their laurels and have another third quarter where 17 points are unanswered for, then that's where we're going to have a problem. So as long as they can stay in it, stay focused, then Ravens are going to run away with this, stay in front the entire time.
I am also taking the Ravens for the win. I do think it's going to be a tougher game, though.
I'm not going to lie. This game is probably going to be very, very close. The Chargers can put up points. They have a good offensive line. I think their biggest problem is coaching.
Mhm.
I really don't like Staley over there. I said it last year. I think I said it the year before that. They need to replace that guy, and that'll be a scary team. So I feel like the Ravens are going to get the win. I feel like it's going to be close. It's going to be high scoring, high flying, and look for some fireworks on Sunday night with the Baltimore victory in Los Angeles.
Who you got, Mike?
Oh, I'm definitely going with the Ravens. I'm definitely going with the Ravens. Yeah, they got this in the bag. I mean,
they're legendary birds.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And
told
I
you
mean,
they are.
the way they have been playing as of late, been impressive on both sides of the ball. I mean, if they keep that up, I mean, right now, they're looking to be one of the dominating forces in the AFC. So, I mean, I'm going with the Ravens. What else can you say?
Was that a cat?
That's a cat.
Yeah, that's blue, I guess.
Blue has been messing with my laptop as I've been on it.
Yeah, for 10 times already.
That's fine. All right, let's get on to the next game of the week. The other host of this show, Tarek.
All right, I'm going with one that I swore I really wouldn't pick this year, just because once they start just going downhill. I am going with. I gotta find out who they're playing again. The Broncos and the Browns. I said Broncos Browns in the text.
Did you?
Yes.
I never changed it, huh?
Ignore the graphics.
Theater of the
Perfection's a work in
mind,
progress. T-shirts coming, yada yada.
That's me.
You forgot it, Dad.
I did. Had a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I'm only the co-host. I don't matter.
Eagles versus the Chiefs.
Just put me in 8-bit pixelation and just
I
like.
can pick different.
All right, so I'm going with the Broncos because they're birds. See, it's a bird. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the word. That's the word.
Bird is a word.
What? Broncos and birds?
No, Broncos are horses, Sammy.
What?
But your dad messed me up. He's trying to sabotage me. I'm tied with him, and he doesn't like it.
Oh, Dad.
So
this is work in progress.
This isn't a game I've been trying to pick this year because the Broncos they started so low from expectations, but surprisingly they're starting to come back up.
I'm gonna get one back.
Normally my co-host has the standings here, so I don't have to look things up on my phone. I know they're still got a losing record, but they're winning games that no one's expecting them to win, and they're staying consistent and they're starting to look good. The Browns have not been looking good. Ravens handed it to them. So I'm going with Denver. I'm going with Broncos. I think they can, especially at home in Denver. I think Sean Payton stuff is finally starting to. The efforts are finally starting to come to fruition here. So I think it's going to be close. I don't think, even though, like I said, what the score is doesn't matter as long as they win. But I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be hard fought as they're still like ironing out and like straightening and nailing boards and patching everything. But I think Denver's going to come away with this.
So the record is 7-3 for the Browns and 5-5 for the Broncos. And the Browns did beat the Ravens 2 weeks ago. So.
Yeah.
Hey, let's not go there.
that was that game I just referenced about the third quarter.
I would say the Browns actually haven't been looking bad. The win over the Ravens was a little bit of an odd one, and I don't think they should have gotten that one. But they have won 4 straight. They've beat the Packers, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Vikings. So 2 of those teams, arguably, they really should not have beaten. But I know it's in Denver. I know they're on like a little winning streak here. I cannot pick against the Cleveland defense right now in this game. I think that Russell Wilson's going to make a few mistakes, and I think they keep their momentum, but they don't win this game.
So you're going with the Browns?
See.
Okay. So I'm going with the Broncos because as someone who resides on the East Coast, I had to sit through that dad awful Browns Steelers game last week, which was like watching square pegs trying to be fit into round holes on offense, and then two defenses who are just feasting all game. So yes, the Browns defense is really good, but it was the Pittsburgh offense. We've talked about how bad Kenny Pickett is. Yes, they just fired their offensive coordinator. That's a different game. I'm going with the Broncos. I'm riding the hot hand on this one because I would say arguably the Broncos are on the better win streak because they still have their starting quarterback. I mean, DTR, yeah, he had one good drive last week, but they can't get anything going on offense, and eventually that defense is going to get gas when that offense goes 3 and out consistently.
Mike, go ahead.
I'm going Browns. I mean,
You're so mean.
sorry, Tarek, but I mean, honestly, I just from what I've seen, honestly, I haven't watched many Broncos games this season, but what I've seen,
You're lucky.
I just think they can take the dub, even in Denver. So sorry, got to go with the Browns.
Okay.
Hey, who did you pick in the game? Denver
I
or
picked,
Cleveland?
I picked the
Denver Broncos or Cleveland Browns?
Broncos.
The Broncos?
Yeah, I mean the Birds.
No, that yeah. No, you picked Denver.
I'm a Bronco. I'm a
Not these
Bronco.
Daddy messed up and didn't put the right graphic.
There's the title for the week.
Fly, Broncos,
you
fly.
messed it up.
I did.
Broncos country.
picked the
Let's
Broncos,
fly.
You know, I got a sneaking suspicion that Philadelphia might win this one right here.
Uh-oh.
He picked the Broncos, quite frankly. Without the quarterback for the Ravens in, it's going to be really hard for them to win this one. The Broncos defense has picked it up. They have
Why would the Ravens quarterback be in this game?
met the Browns.
So we got the Broncos and the Browns. We got the Eagles and the Chiefs and the Ravens. This is a 5-win game.
Messed up the schedule. All 5 teams are playing at once.
Yes. So PJ Walker is supposed to be the starter this week for the Browns. However, they did sign Joe Flacco. That's where the Ravens tie-in is, because he's now a backup in Cleveland. At some point, he might be starting. 7-3 for that team. That defense is a monster. They beat Pittsburgh last week, like 17-13. They beat Baltimore 2 weeks ago, but they had Deshaun Watson in, who wasn't looking all that great.
No.
And they've kept themselves at a 7-3 pace. They are a half game behind the Ravens right now, which is incredible considering they haven't had a starting quarterback for most of the season. The Denver Broncos, however, one win up until like a couple weeks ago, up until 4 weeks ago, when they've rattled off four straight wins. Is the Sean Payton experiment starting to kick in? Maybe, but not this week. I have the Browns winning this one in a low-scoring defensive affair. It's going to be. I'm assuming that the total score is not going to reach over 30 points. So, give me the Browns for the victory. And the Chiefs last week, because I got that one wrong.
We almost got that right, Sam.
I know. Dang, Marcus Valdez-Scantling.
A lot of drop passes in that one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to our pop panel pick'em.
What do you buy our cup setting?
More than just a sign shop. Check them out up in Westminster. They're currently doing displays right now across the country. But go to them for all of your decal needs and side needs, of course. All right, getting into it, as we can see, pretty clean
unanimous.
slate on the first 4 games.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
I just want to say, whoever thought to put a football game on Black Friday at 3 p.m. needs to get fired, because that's an awful time for a football game.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's in reference to the one of our unanimous games, the Miami Jets game. It starts at 3 p.m. on a Friday. How many people are off work on 3 p.m. on a Friday on Black Friday? Not many. Yet you are, because I am too, but I still have to drive home.
Dude, I'm off too, and I work in
Sending your-
construction.
I like how the other 4 was raised their hand.
I'm lamenting for Sam. I will be the voice of reason to Roger Goodell when he watches this video.
You know I'm off on Friday, right?
No, I don't.
So,
Either way, moving on. That was
the
my
little
tangent
man,
for the
I
week.
understand. The retail worker, they're not.
Yeah, the every guy.
Yeah, the every.
Yeah. He's football Jesus from on high. He understands the every guy.
I hear from everyone who watches football.
All right, let's move on to the next set. Only one person picked the Bengals to win that one, and honestly, with how bad Pittsburgh is, they could lose that game. I'm kind of hoping they do, because I don't think Pittsburgh's going to make it to 500 this year. But
All of these games were coin flip games for me.
They are.
So
Yeah.
except for the Carolina game.
even still, coin flip. Will Levis has looked really good in his 2 primetime games, and then he's looked like a rookie in his other 2 games. But
What they're gonna do is they're gonna put what's his name's cell phone at the other end of the field, so he can break through all the walls like in the commercial and get it at the other end. That's how the Titans are gonna win.
You mean Henry?
I think it's less about how the Titans are going, like, or how the quarterback's going to look. I think it's more about how bad Carolina's going to look.
True, because they're a pretty awful team.
But yeah, we've talked about the Saints ad nauseum, how their roster is stacked and should be better.
Sam, I should
That one was a toss up for me, though. That one.
Sam, I should have the Tampa Bay.
Do you? I don't know. You said you weren't sure on your picks. I can't see that.
She has Tampa Bay highlighted.
Okay.
I got Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay highlighted. Okay. I've made a few mistakes here, people.
At least I don't have to take it personally now.
And with the Pittsburgh thing, I'm honestly waiting for them to lose. I don't know how they've made it this far with so many wins. And I feel like the Bengals were at least on a good path. And even though, Browning is taking over for Burrow, I feel like the rest of the team's still going to play to their strengths and play around that. I don't think it's going to be pretty, though.
Well, you can only hope.
Kenny Pickett's got baby hands.
All in pictures, there's stupid little TikToks and YouTube shorts with the little.
He's got those, like, when Deadpool regenerates his hands.
Yeah.
Little toddler hands, and he's trying to grip a football.
We're merging fandoms here. We're mixing fandoms up, Brady.
I'm setting this up for a collab.
Yeah.
Next page.
Next page, yes.
Jess is like, and we're done.
Only one person picked Houston in that game. Little surprising, considering how well they've been playing.
Toss up. I mean, CJ Stroud, he's offensive rookie of the year by far, but he had his first bad game last week, so.
I don't think he's going to look bad. I just think the Jaguars are going to look better.
CJ Stroud had a bad game last week?
He threw 3 interceptions last week, yeah.
Didn't they win?
They won, but that was his first, game
They
where
didn't say the team looked bad. They said he looked bad.
He looked
you can
bad,
still
yeah.
win and look bad.
Didn't
Because
throw
he
for 400
had,
yards?
2 interceptions on the year up until that game, and that was his first one with multiple picks.
I swore he threw for
But the
400
Jaguars
yards, too.
don't win against winning teams, so.
It's hard to call Houston a winning team. So this is where
But again, though, Houston is in that same bucket as Jacksonville, as they're always the haha, look at them, they're so bad, haha. And no one expected them to be essentially contending for their division. This late.
Houston doesn't have Trevor Lawrence's magnificent hair.
That's true. And that granite-esque face that looks like he should be on Easter Island.
yes, weird.
Yeah. And then, of course, split for the Cardinals game, split for the Browns game. And only 2 of us picking New England this week.
Again, there's so many, we talked about, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where there was a bunch of games that just weren't interesting to watch. these are all interesting games because there's so many. Like Tommy DeVito, the AI generated Italian quarterback that the Giants have.
Hey, yo, hey.
Hey,
He did that. He did that last week when he threw a touchdown pass. He was running down the field doing this. It was amazing. But the Patriots haven't even announced who their starting quarterback is, and they don't plan to until Sunday. So it's kind of hard for me to pick them with any like
Because Bill
authority.
Belichick hasn't gone to the local Kmart's to get the shopping cart boy yet.
That's true.
True.
you look like you got a cannon, son. How would you like to pay for the Patriots?
You push those carts like a football. Let's go.
You're like, oh yeah, I can throw a wicked hide. Wait.
All right, let's move on to the last sets of games and another unanimous slate, but that one wasn't as, we figured this
Yeah.
was going to happen with this.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs, their defense was surprisingly the star of the show against the Eagles. So I imagine they're going to have an even better game this week against the Raiders.
Good.
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
the Chiefs are going to be a little mad about that last game. So
Yeah, this has the potential to be one of those like 40-14 where they just put the foot on the throat early and just balance.
Yep.
All I want
Las
is
Vegas
another
slaughter.
team. All I want is another team to have the cojones to win against the Chiefs and blast a Taylor Swift song out of the stadium. Because that,
there's going to be Taylor Swift play before the game.
yeah, that was the most power move thing I ever seen in my life, and I'm like, I love it.
I respect Broncos country for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not much to be happy about as a Broncos fan this year. That made me proud. Not anything else they're doing, just that.
Just that one thing.
That had nothing to do with football.
Just that.
Got to cling on to something.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on another football week and this short week with Thanksgiving and football and everything else going on tomorrow. Special thanks to my friend Mike from Big Mike's Real Reviews. I will put a link in the description. Go see his reviews on all the new nerd movies and shows and everything else that he's watching. It's great. It's fun. He's funny. I love it.
Thanks,
Please
sir.
click like, click subscribe, put a comment down below. Let us know who you think is going to win. What pick is completely bogus. Brady's mom put something in about cutting his hair. Eh.
Don't cut it.
Every week. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. My king. Thank you.
I just like seeing it because every Thursday or Friday, I come into work and I see Carol, Brady, cut your hair. Pop up in my email from the comments after I've uploaded the video.
It's okay. She's apparently picking games because they are birds now.
She did. I before we wrap up, I just want to say I got a phone call from my mother yesterday where she talked about the Eagles game with my stepfather, and he asked her who won, and she said the Eagles, and they both said in tandem because they're birds.
You're
That's
famous.
What?
You're famous.
Yeah.
I'm famous?
Yeah.
Wrap it. Cut it there. That's got to
Yeah,
be the
we gotta go. We gotta go.
That's
All
it.
right, again, thank
That's
you
it.
guys so much.
Fade to black.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right, as always, I'm Tarek.
I'm Jessica.
I'm football Jesus.
Big Mike from Big Mike's Real Reviews.
Who are you?
I'm Sam.
And I'm Sam. And you have a fun, safe, and wonderful Thanksgiving and a good football week.
Happy
Bye
Thanksgiving, guys.
tomorrow.